Another solution we have for demounting is what we call the PRT, and that's an impact-driven tool. It's driven here on this drive nut with an impact gun, and we'll see that in action here in a little bit. Very effective for demounting those very difficult 1400 24-inch tires. Now for the mounting side, what we have is a very special mounting bar. It has a very abrupt offset here. This is able to reach in and grab the rim and easily pry that on. We have a little kink here that gives us a little bit of a mechanical advantage, and you see it has a nice long handle, so it's able to put that very difficult bead onto that very difficult rim. And then very instrumental part of the mounting process is our bead lock. You'll see that in action here in a little bit. It has this kind of a turnbuckle or this little hinge here, and we'll see how that works between putting the first bead on and then you flip it over and it puts the second bead on, and we'll see that in action here in just a moment. So with these very simple tools, we can take that tire on and off that rim in a matter of about 6 to 7 minutes. All told, we can take that tire on or put it on and then take it off and remove it. And for hand tools, that's unprecedented. It really shows the value of these tools in the field. So we'll see these in action in just a moment. What we have here is a 24-inch tubeless rim. These typically go on a grater, and the tire that goes on them is a 1400 24-inch tire. It's particularly difficult tire and wheel combination, but we're going to show you how we've kind of mastered it. What we want to illustrate first of all is the difference between a domestic 24-inch 1400 tire and an off-brand tire, or typically a foreign tire. The difference is in the bead thicknesses. If you get in here, you can see that this has a very thick bead. Looks like it comes out to about 1.5 inches at least, maybe even 1.75 inches is the thickness on that bead. Now this is a domestic tire. Now if we look at the off-brand tire, we find that it's really only about 1 inch, maybe 1.1 1/8 thickness. So the difference in the characteristics of the tires really makes a difference in the way that it handles when you're putting it on, when you're removing it or putting it on that rim. And so that kind of describes the differences between the two. We'll stop right there. Here is a 24-inch steel rim that takes a 24-inch 1400 tubeless tire. These typically go on a scraper or a grater. And what we're going to emphasize here is the use for good tire lubricant. There's a lot of different tire lubricants on the market. Some of them come in a paste, kind of concentrated form. Some of them come in a liquid form. And because these tires are so stiff and difficult, we're going to highly recommend and really say that it's really a necessity to use a good tire paste. Now this is your standard tire soap in the concentrated form. Most shops have this or have access to this kind of tire paste. It's a soap-based product. Over here, and this is what we really recommend even more, is it's almost acts like a heavy grease, but it's a thick black product that discourages rust on a steel rim. And this actually is a little better. It stays tacky, or it keeps its viscosity a little longer than the tire soap. Now when we do the demonstration, we're actually going to show the use of your standard shop tire soap, because that's what most individuals have. That's what they're familiar with. So again, the need for good heavy tire paste and lubricant and applying it generously is extremely important in mounting these 24-inch 1400 tires.